Have you ever had someone in your life who just gets it? Someone who's been through the ups, the downs, the chaos, and somehow still has the best advice? For me, that was my grandma. She wasn't just a sweet lady with cookies, though trust me, her chocolate chip recipe was unreal. She was a walking, talking encyclopedia of life lessons. And today, I'm sharing some of her golden nuggets with you. Whether you're 15, 35, or 75, these lessons, they're timeless. They're about love, resilience, money, happiness, stuff we all need to hear. So grab a snack, maybe a cup of tea, Grandma would approve, and let's dive in. Oh, and stick around to the end, because I've got a little surprise for you. Let's get started. All right, lesson number 1. Love is in the little things. Grandma used to say, you don't need a big gesture to show someone you care. Just show up. And she lived that every single day. I remember this one time when I was about 12. I'd had a terrible day at school, failed a math test, got into a fight with my best friend, the works. I came home all sulky, ready to hide in my room forever. Grandma was visiting, and instead of giving me some big pep talk, she just sat me down at the kitchen table, slid a plate of warm oatmeal cookies my way, and said, "Tell me about it, kiddo." That was it. No lecture, no pressure, just cookies and her full attention. And you know what? That's all I needed. I spilled my guts, cried a little, and by the end, I was laughing at how she kept pretending to solve my math problems with cookie crumbs. She didn't fix everything, but she showed me she cared in this quiet, perfect way. That stuck with me. Years later, when I was stressing about college applications, she'd send me these little handwritten notes, just a line or two, like, "You're tougher than you think." No grand speeches, just love in the margins. So here's the takeaway. You don't need to buy someone a yacht or write them a symphony to show love. It's the small stuff, listening when they're down, remembering their favorite snack, or just being there. Think about it. When's the last time you did something little for someone you care about? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear your stories. Lesson 2. Tough times don't last. Tough people do. Grandma had this saying framed on her wall. It was this old, faded cross-stitch she made herself. And let me tell you, she lived it. She grew up during some hard years. Think Great Depression vibes. Her family didn't have much. She told me stories about how they'd stretch a single chicken to feed 6 people for a week. One time, she said her dad came home with a sack of bruised apples. Someone threw them out, and they turned it into a feast. Applesauce, apple pie, even apple cider. She'd laugh and say, "We didn't cry over what we didn't have. We got creative with what we did." But it wasn't just money struggles. When I was a kid, she lost her husband, my grandpa, to cancer. I was too young to get how heavy that was, but I remember her sitting on her porch, knitting, day after day. I asked her once, "Grandma, aren't you sad?" She looked at me, put her needles down, and said, "Oh, honey, I'm sad every day, but I've got you, I've got my garden, and I've got tomorrow. That's enough to keep going." That hit me hard later in life. When I went through my own rough patch, lost a job I loved, broke up with someone I thought was the one, I kept hearing her voice. Tough times don't last, tough people do. It wasn't about pretending everything was fine. It was about finding something, anything, to hold on to. For her, it was family. For me, it was picking up a hobby, painting, actually terrible at it, but it got me through. What about you? What's gotten you through a tough time? I bet you're tougher than you give yourself credit for. Let's keep this going. Lesson 3's up next. Lesson 3. Money buys freedom, not happiness. Grandma was not about chasing cash for the sake of it. She'd say, if you've got enough to eat and a roof over your head, the rest is gravy. She was practical about money. She worked as a seamstress for years, making dresses, hemming pants, you name it. Saved every penny she could. When I was a teenager, she sat me down with this little ledger, handwritten, of course, and showed me how she budgeted. "See this?" she'd say, pointing to a line. "That's for emergencies. And this, that's for fun. You need both." But here's the kicker. She didn't hoard it. One summer, she took me and my cousins on this road trip, just a beat-up old car, some sandwiches, and a map. We went to this tiny lake town, swam all day, ate ice cream till we were sick. I asked her, "Grandma, why spend your savings on this?" She grinned and said, "Because freedom's worth more than a bank account. I'd rather make memories with you than sit on a pile of coins." That flipped a switch for me. In my 20s, I was obsessed with grinding, side hustles, overtime, you name it. I saved a decent chunk, but I was miserable. Then I remembered her. So I took some of that cash, booked a solo trip to the coast, and just breathed. It wasn't fancy, but it was freedom. The lesson? Money's a tool. Use it to live, not to impress. What's one thing you'd do with a little extra freedom right now? Travel? Take a day off? Tell me in the comments. I'm curious. Lesson 4. Laugh at yourself, because life's too short. Grandma had the best sense of humor. She'd trip over something, spill soup on her apron, and just cackle. If you can't laugh at yourself, she'd say you're missing the best joke. One time, she decided she was going to learn to roller skate. At 70. Picture this. Me, a gangly teenager, holding her hand in the driveway while she wobbles around in these ancient skates she found in the attic. She lasted about 5 minutes before she plopped down on the grass, laughing so hard she couldn't breathe. Well, she gasped, at least I didn't break a hip. That was her. She didn't take herself too seriously, and it made her unstoppable. When I started this channel, I was terrified of messing up. Bad lighting, awkward edits, you name it. First video I posted, I forgot to turn the mic on. Silent for 10 minutes. I could have cried, but I heard her in my head, laughing. So I laughed too, fixed it, and kept going. Try it next time you mess up. Spill coffee, bomb a presentation. Just laugh. It's freeing. What's the funniest mistake you've ever made? Share it below. Let's laugh together. Lesson 5. Leave things better than you found them. This was Grandma's big one. She'd say, doesn't matter if it's a room, a person, or the whole world. Leave it a little brighter. She was always doing that. She'd visit friends and sneakily wash their dishes. She'd plant flowers in the yard just because. When I was a kid, we'd walk through the park and she'd pick up trash. Never made a fuss, just did it. I asked her why once, and she said, because someone's got to start. That hit me later when she got sick. She was in her 80s, and even then, she'd knit blankets for the hospital she stayed in. She'd say, if I'm here, I might as well make it cozier for the next guy. She passed a few years back, and at her funeral, people coming up to me, neighbors, old coworkers, telling me how she'd helped them. Fixed a fence, baked a pie, listened when they were low. She left everyone better. It's a challenge for me now. I try to do it, small stuff, like tipping extra or calling a friend out of the blue. It's not about being perfect. It's about trying. How do you leave things better? Let's inspire each other. Drop your ideas below. Okay, we made it. 5 lessons from Grandma. Love in the little things. Tough people outlast tough times. Money buys freedom, not happiness. Laugh at yourself and leave things better. I hope these hit you like they hit me. Because honestly, she was the real deal. Now that surprise I promised, I've been working on something special. A little PDF called Grandma's Guide to Life. It's got these lessons, some of her recipes, like that oatmeal cookie one, and a few extra stories I couldn't fit here. It's free, just for you guys. Links in the description. Download it, share it with someone you love. If you like this, hit that like button. It really helps. Subscribe if you haven't, and ring the bell so you don't miss the next one. Tell me in the comments which lesson stuck with you, or share your own grandma's wisdom. I'd love to read it. Thanks for hanging out with me today. You're awesome, and Grandma would have thought so too. See you in the next one. Bye for now.